If I had to strip down my whole world to nothing, what would that look like? It would look like my family and my faith. Hey, what's up? I'm Adrienne Houghton and I'm hanging out with InTouch. I'm happy for her. Kourtney's just a beautiful person inside and out. I think obviously all of us seeing, her life on the show, all we ever wanted was for her to be happy. And if she's found happiness here, then I'm thrilled. Changed my life on a whole other level. I feel like in this pandemic, we've all gone through hard times in different ways, whether it's like loneliness or for me, more than anything, it made me realize what's important and what's not. Not just what's important, but it showed me everything I can live without. If I had to strip down my whole world to nothing, what would that look like? It would look like my family and my faith. It would be faith and familia. That's all that matters to me is my relationship with God. And that kind of gives me my stability and my family. So this project allowed me to that was kind of the intersection of this project. And I feel like being able to sing with my sister, have my nieces in the room and do this in our family home was it's like a combination of everything that I love. I love music. I love God. I love family. I like making people feel good. And that's what this was. So that was definitely life-changing because it put everything into perspective for me. I literally sat there while we were filming the concert, and it's a live album. So it's live from this concert we did at home. And I just sat there and I was like, yeah, if this was what the rest of my life looked like, I'd be really happy, which is why my husband and I just bought a tour bus. So that to me would be the ultimate dream, would be, to raise my children in a musical family. We still got to get working on that. I want to be a mom so badly. And that would be our life. It would be we've learned to love simpler times and simpler things. And I recognize that those are the things that are the most fulfilling to me. For sure. In different ways. I always say he's my greatest cheerleader and I'm his. It's because of him that I launched, a jewelry line called XIXI. It's because of his belief in me that I was able to launch, a clothing line and a bag line with Lavu. That's because I'll have these ideas and my husband is there like, oh my gosh, you can do this. How do we make it happen for you? I'm like, well, how will I fulfill, X amount of orders? He's there with tape and packing with me. And I feel like in turn, when he maybe doesn't believe in himself or when I ever doubt myself or he doubts himself, I'm there like, what? You're Israel Houghton. You're a 6-time Grammy Award winner. You've been nominated 20-something times. You're amazing. We got to make this happen. And I had the idea. He said that he low-key was in retirement, without even announcing it. In his mind, he was like, I've accomplished everything I've ever wanted to accomplish. And now I get to, relax and motivate you and be an amazing husband and a father to our future kids. And I love that. But at the same time, I'm like, you've got a really special gift and the world needs that. So I convinced him to do this album. And I've got to say, it was very sexy watching him do this. I think there's nothing like watching your husband fulfill their purpose and their calling in life. And just to see him put arrangements together and call out to, the drums, I want you to do this. And this is what I want. It was really dope to see him in his element, so to speak. And this is the first live project I've ever witnessed him put together, which is what he's most known for, these amazing live performances. And one, that I got to actually see him put this together. And then two, that I actually got to be a part of that and sing with him in this was hands down such an honor for me. One was the fact that we recognized that we had gone through something and that we lived to tell about it. And that in itself, we just felt so grateful. And then it was like, one day we were just sitting and actually a friend of my brother-in-law's called and was saying that his mother had COVID as well. So we all rallied together and we're like, what numbers do we call? How can we get them in touch? How can we get this person the same help that we got my mother? And when we finished that night, she ended up getting the antibody cocktail as well. This woman who I think is in her 70s. And when we finished and we found out she was doing so much better, we were like, oh, so relieved. And we just said, man, if we were able to help mom and we were able to help Lola, if people had this information, maybe it could be helpful to them as well. And that's when we were like, we really should share our story. And obviously it's a personal story. So I was like, Mom, are you okay with sharing your story? And then we all were like, oh, if this can save even one life, it's absolutely worth it. We are doing so much better. Even myself included. I think like fatigue is still something that lingers. So I get tired faster during the day. Same for my mom. And then just having to build up her lung strength at this point. Also, another thing a lot of people don't talk about is the tachycardia, which means the rapid heartbeat that COVID brings. So I can sometimes feel that. And I know my mom sometimes feels extra winded from doing simpler things. So it's just building that stamina back up. Thank you guys so much for letting me hang out with you. Be sure to check out my YouTube channel, All Things Adrienne, my Instagram at Adrienne Bailon, and the new album that just came out, Feels Like Home, Israel and New Breed.